Good morning, how are we? Danielle left her Stanley at home, so Stanley is like a beautiful yoke to drink out of. It's fucking well worth the money that I got it for Christmas. Oh yeah, I'm not going to lie. Yesterday was the first day that I really started to feel it. But the show must go on. I have got a consultation right now I need to hop into. So I'm going to catch up with you in a little bit and we're going to break it all down. We're going to have a chat. We're going to go through it all because we're in for it. In terms of like coming into a practice like your own, it would be dependent on, what you wanted. To get the most professional look, it would be, the use of the lighting and everything so that you could actually show off the place to look its best on camera. I do a lot of work in gyms and stuff, and you're the only one that sees that little bit of paint mark on the wall or anything like that. I'm a little bit stressed this week. I fucking won't deny it. I'm a little bit stressed. It's absolutely hectic, but we've got the pre-workout. We've got the pre-workout meal. Well, it's meal one. I don't exactly know if it's pre-workout today or not. I'm a little bit fucking hectic. But, yeah, what was I going to say? Yesterday today is going to be different now, and I know, it's probably going to be that kind of way. Yesterday was just that it was a rest day. I was working from home all day, literally all day. Obviously, I didn't have that training window. Yeah, food was a little bit lower, but like I don't have hunger issues or anything at the moment, and I probably, well, in ways I should maybe, but no, I probably shouldn't. I was just dragging, man. I was really dragging. Obviously, I had a big session on Tuesday. And I was just fucking like working from home, just trying to make sure that I got everything done. Obviously, cardio and everything out the way in the morning. And I feel great like every single morning, obviously with my most energy. And I don't mind dipping off as the day goes along, but the whole day I was just like, fuck. There must be an easier way than this. And I was like, fuck's sake. And I had my second check-in this morning with Keen. And I just said to him, I said, feeling quite fucked, and it's been coming. And he just said and reassured me, because I'm kind of thinking to myself, should I feel this way? Being like 12 and a half weeks out. He was like, it's going to happen. We've I think we've like 11 weeks or so of dieting already done. We're 12 weeks out now, and the next 10 weeks is going to be the big push. And because we had the group photo shoot in the meantime, he was just kind of saying, look to that first. That's our first stepping stone. Just have something that's closer to look towards, instead of looking like 12 weeks down the line. I don't mind, like I've obviously felt like this before, but it's been a long time since I've had that prep kind of feel, but it's just one foot in front of the other now, over every single day. I know today, because I'm on the move, that was probably a lot of salt. I shouldn't talk when I'm trying to fucking do my salt. But I'm on the move a lot today. I called this morning, and then into normal work on the computer, and then I'm filming later. There's a good bit of filming coming up over the next couple of weeks, coming into the summer now with different businesses and different people, and that's going to keep me on my feet. It's going to keep me really busy. It's going to make probably life a lot easier being out of the house more. But then there's going to be the days when I am going to be at home, and I am going to be fucking just working from the laptop, which is great, and it's just all part of it. And that's why I want to document it, as much as possible. But these days are going to come. I do feel a lot better again today. Well, it is only 11 o'clock in the morning, but I feel better. Scratching at the rug. I think a lot better today anyway. We'll see as the day goes along, but we'll see. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. I'm getting meal one into me, and then we're on the road. Are you alright? We're on the road to do more work, and then we're filming today, filming tonight, and push also needs to be done at some point. So, we'll get it done. And you're going to be there to hold me accountable to everything I'm doing every single day. Look at that. Actually, cream of rice this morning. This is what I'm talking about, like appetite. I'm having cream of rice instead of oats. Oats, more fibre, just thicker maybe. Probably fill you up that little bit more, but I make my cream of rice nice. And again, same approach here. I put it in the fridge exactly like I do my oats. I'm eating them cold at the moment. Absolutely delicious. Absolutely delicious. I'll give you a little taste test. I'm going to snap an old picture for Instagram as you do. And I'm going to get this into me. I am hungry. We had 45 minutes cardio this morning. I have about 4,500 steps done. Great call this morning as well. If you don't know, I also have a media business, Massy Media it's called, through content creation. That's why I absolutely love making videos for myself also. That's how it originated. That's how the business originated. Doing videography, photography, social media management, so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's my morning. I'm going to eat this. I'm going to fucking enjoy the shit out of it. Obviously, also checking with Keen this morning. No changes to plan, just running as we normally are. We had the just cycle adjustment on Monday. We didn't have any changes to food. We didn't have any changes to cardio, expenditure, or anything. Everything stays the exact same. I was 81 this morning. I should note, I was 81 kilos. So that's scale weight is moving, it holds for a good few days, and then we have a nice drop. And especially obviously after lower food yesterday on a rest day, that was nice this morning to wake up to a nice new low. Right, Americano on hand. We are out the gap for job number 1. We will be home in a couple of hours. I save a lot. I know I said it recently. I save a lot of money on coffee now. Just taking that with me in the to-go mug. But it's the realities of getting lean, man. As I was speaking there this morning, I feel great now. I've had a meal, obviously a relatively carb-heavy meal as well. Which, I don't know, is it the best decision? It would be my pre-workout meal, but my day has been rejigged a little bit to suit people for filming. But yeah, you can see I'm wearing a jacket here now as well. The normal person may not be wearing a jacket, right now on a day like today, but it's the reality of getting lean. You're going to be cold. Body temperature is going to come down as body fat levels come down. And there's a lake over there. It looks decent today with the fucking sun coming down on top of it. But it's all relative. I know that's something I always say, okay? It's all relative in terms of person, right? My body, I was saying it to Keen this morning, it's what I think is a big part of it too, as I'll feel it over the next couple of weeks. My body has been used to my whole life being very heavily body fat, having a lot of body fat on me. It hasn't been used to being lean, and that's just my genetics, obviously my habits and everything like that. So the body's been used to having a lot of body fat on it, and being comfortable at that position, and me going against the grain and going against what the body wants to do, trying to get skinned, fat free. It's just not what the body is used to, not what the body wants to do. So someone that might be going through the same process as me right now, who is used to kind of being lean, won't feel the effect as much as I'll start to feel the effect over the next couple of weeks, But yeah, definitely prepping, coming into the summer. Obviously we've been, dieting since January, is unreal, and it's nice, all the diets I've ever done, and been fat then for the summer, have been late in the year, in winter. Dark mornings, dark nights. It's just all part of it. Something actually I was talking to one of the lads, if you're watching this, bud, about prepping earlier. He's prepping for the group photo shoot we're about 8 weeks, 7.5 weeks out maybe now. And he was saying, because obviously he's getting leaner, and his face, especially, I was saying to him, the last week his face has been getting a lot leaner. The lads are saying it in work now, and they're slagging him, because that's just what you do, and they're saying he's falling away to nothing, and what's after happening you and everything, and that's just part of it. You're going to deal with that as you go. Obviously, I've dealt with that a lot myself. In my first photo shoot prep, the lads, started to see me with my fucking, meat and veg and they'd be getting, their, chipper on, when I was on the evening shifts, they'd be going for their chipper, on break. And what are you having, lad? No, I'm alright, boy. Sound. Oh, you're having your fucking salad, are you? Yeah. And, it's just something you have to laugh off and stuff, but it's just like fucking every day. I know it'll be tough for some people, but it's the choices, it's not something that we all do. It's not something that, the majority of the population do, but we've decided to do it, and we're going to crack on. Just think about the shape that you're going to be in. Just think about the shape that you're going to be in, lad. You know what I mean? Thankfully, pretty much all the work that I do, for the most part, is kind of centered around, just say, like the fitness community, the fitness kind of environment, and people understand, for the most part, bar some people, of course. Then when you kind of move into like more of the corporate kind of side of things with some work, obviously they don't have a clue about it, and it is what it is. I don't fucking mention a single thing. I just eat healthy. Do you know what I mean? I just eat healthy, and that's it, because there's no point in even getting into it, because it's great when people are asking you questions and everything, but people probably be looking at you and thinking you're a bit of a freak here, lad. You know what I mean?
Motion, is this you?
And now I'm putting a pre-workout in. No Monster. We get a Monster into us later on. Smells a bit funky. And it's sour as fuck. And I watered it down way too much. Right, lads, I thought it might be a good idea to overlay a little bit of talking here into the training session. So, my split, these can also count as form clips for Keane if he watches this, but I'm sure he will. I lay it out a small little bit different. So this is what my second push day of the week looks like. I'm starting out every push day now, every upper day, to be honest, with a rear delt fly on the pec deck machine. And the reason for this is I found going straight in to do my laterals, which is what I'm meant to do on this day, I just not really ready to do them. So I start out with the rear delt fly first, and obviously you can never have a big enough rear delt. It's another muscle group that I neglected for a long time. So I've got 3 sets on there to get me warmed up basically. And then also another exercise that's not actually on this day is pec deck. It's the same here again. I don't feel I'm ready to do my lateral raises. I know I've been doing a lot of rehab work on my shoulders with Jonah, West Limerick Massage Therapy, but I still don't feel I'm ready. So again, I need a bigger chest. I don't mind doing a little bit of chest. So I do one top set of chest. I do one warm-up set, which is this, and then I do one top set of pec deck here, just to get the chest firing and kind of get me ready to go into my lateral raises, which are like my first actual movement on the program. And we're going to get stuck into them there now. I just thought, I haven't done one of these in a very long time, so I'm going to do one. Now, on to top set of laterals. I'm pretty sure the 17.5s. I'm actually on 17.5s, and this is something that I've gotten onto since prep. A few weeks into prep, I've been confident with the 17.5s. And I know you might look at these and say they might be quite fast. This is kind of the rate that I do my laterals at, especially a dumbbell lateral. I have many forms of lateral raise in the program every single week, not just dumbbells, but we're spamming laterals across the board. I've gotten good growth out of my side delts, I want to say, over the last number of months. It's just from doing a lot of lateral raises. So my top set is 17.5s on this day. Now, I do go back down to do another set then of 15s and then another set of 12.5s. Anyway, on to a heavy hitter. As I said, this is a more shoulder-focused push day. We've got Smith machine shoulder press. A very, very high incline chest press, you could say. Incline Smith machine press. Took some great numbers here. Took numbers across the board pretty much today, which I was absolutely delighted with. But just warming up here, firstly with one plate, getting the bench in order, and then we are on to... That is actually, they're 25 kilos. the first plate that I put on were 25 kg, not 20 kg. And then I put a 10 on either side to get a couple of reps in. And then we put another 10 and another 5 on. So this is the most amount of weight I've done on here ever since I've started training in this gym. I did drop a couple of reps, but it is what it is. You know, I felt strong. I wanted to attack it. Elbow sleeves on. The elbow sleeves just give me that little bit more confidence, you know, with everything. And obviously allow the elbow joint there to feel like a little bit more intact. But I was happy with this set. My back offs, I don't drop the weight a significant amount, to be completely honest. I'm, you know, only getting a couple of extra reps with the back offs. They're not huge, you know, differences in the amount of reps I do in my top set versus my back off set. Then we're in for chest press, another machine I absolutely love. I really like this chest press machine. And because it's pin loaded, I don't have to put plates and everything on it. It just feels really good. Top set here, I'm actually up 9 kilos on this. 9 kilos, which is 1 pin compared to last week. And I'm pretty sure I matched reps. I might have dropped 1 or 2 reps. I don't have the numbers here on me, but very, very happy with this set. Like, I just felt strong going in here. You know, obviously leading up to the session, I was in a good mood. I felt good. It's the importance of, you know, the way you set up your pre-workout routine, you know, and I think that it really did help with me today, you know, just being in a good mood. If I went in there in a bad mood, I'm probably just going to fuck off the session, you know, and not have the best session that I could have possibly had, but I was really happy with them across the board, to be honest. Then we were in for dips. It's quite a big session, especially because I add on the pec tech there as well. Like, I do have the rear delt fly, but I just move that around in the session. I have it early in the session. We've got bodyweight dips, actually assisted dips, to be honest. I'm still not doing bodyweight dips, which I probably will be soon, but not yet. So I do have 2 sets of assisted dips. I actually really enjoy these. I really, really enjoy these, and they're a good movement. You know, I'm leaning into the chest that little bit more, get a good focus on the chest, and obviously the tricep is getting hit hard here as well. So yeah, I really like the dips. 2 sets on here. This is my first set, and I do drop the pin 1 more to give me a little bit more assistance on the second set then as well. And then we're into the next lateral. This is an OG lateral for me. We've got the OG 1MR cuffs on here, the crucifix line lateral raise. I really like these. Again, you can just get really, really good connection with the side delt here. Generate really good power, to be honest, as well, which is another great thing, you know, and they just feel good. You know, a lot of these movements, they just feel good, and that's an important thing. Making sure the movement feels good and you enjoy it as well, you know. So 3 sets here done. Really happy across the board with them. This was my heavy set, my heaviest set, you could say, my top set, before I dropped the stack down by 1. I did 2 more sets, and then we're into the final 2 movements, which is just arms. So we start off with another one some people mightn't be familiar with, which is basically just like, you could say it's pretty much the same as like using a rope setup, which is like the same kind of movement, but you just kind of get more range of motion by using the cuffs here. You know, you can kind of get, you know, a better stretch, you can get a better contraction because you have more wiggle room, you know, you're more freedom with the 2 cables and the cuffs. Again, it feels absolutely amazing. 3 sets there, and then we had 3 sets of curls as well. Again, with my arms, I'm hitting the same volume every single week, but it's just dependent on where I'm training first and foremost. Obviously, I don't want it to be changing too much and changing the setup too much of exactly what I'm doing, but again, you know, depending on if a cable stack is free or whatever the case might be, I'll just change around exactly kind of the exercise that I'm doing on a day-to-day. And the big thing here is just getting a nice pump at the end. Not like a nice pump for me to look at and for you to look at, but just getting a nice pump, you know, getting blood flowing through the arms at the very end, same with the delts and everything. And then we're into posing. I apologize, this is a very, very bad angle, so I'm just going to fly through the posing here. And that was it. A really successful push day, and I'm hoping to continue them for as long as possible, because push generally in a diet is the first one that can start to give that small little bit. You know, your pushing numbers, your strength in pushing sessions.
It actually makes me look like I have a lot more hair in my head than I did, because
I set trends around here. Like, well, I'm getting a hair. I need to get a haircut tomorrow, but it's fucking weird seeing Keane with no hair on his head, lad. He's fucking had long hair for the last fucking 3 years. Putting in a white a little bit later than appropriate, you could say, but it's a long day. We are just heading from one place to another. Probably be finished up probably 9:30, and then we'll be on the road, an hour drive home, give or take. So we're on a little bit of a late one. Big tip I can just give you, you know, obviously starting out this video saying yesterday was a tough one, and it's going to be the case, especially the days that I'm working from home. But when you can, you know, and for a lot of people who don't necessarily work from home, just keep yourself busy, you know, keep yourself, even if you're not, you know, doing a whole lot, you don't have a whole lot to do, we could say, just keep yourself occupied, you know, and get stuff to do, man. Get stuff to do that doesn't, you know, revolve around obviously having to eat and stuff, you know, because that's, you know, as the time goes along, as the diet goes along, the stuff that's going to be making it that little bit more challenging for you, you know, and just keep yourself occupied so you're not even thinking about it, and the focus on that isn't really there, you know. That's what I found, and we'll continue to find over the next couple of weeks, you know. Obviously we'll see what my experience is like this time around, but that's what I think is the best thing I can do for you. And plenty of Monster. This is going to give me the little tip. Come on, lad. 9:30, 25 to 10. We're out the gap, we're en route. I'm praying the road is open. The whole motorway from Limerick up to Neenah closed on the way up here, and it took me an extra half an hour to get here. It is a big enough chunk of food that I need to get in, but fear of me, I will get it in. My appetite, or my tummy is rumbling, ready for food. And we'll get a nice sleep, and then tomorrow's leg day. It's Friday. Another week is nearly rolled around again. Like, do you know what I mean? It's crazy how fast the weeks go by. I don't want this video to be too long. I'm gonna fly home nice and safely. Drop the video a like. Comment down below if there's anything specific you want to see. I know today just a lot of my thoughts out on paper, which a lot of these days are going to be, as always. I don't want to, you know, I don't want there to be, you know, just repetitiveness after repetitiveness, but it realistically is, you know, what the days look like. But I have just other ideas in terms of what I want to share on here over the coming days, the coming weeks, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Hit the subscribe if you haven't already, because I'm going to try and teach you a thing or two. And if there's anyone on here that wants to teach me a thing or two, I have multiple people that I want to get on for videos. It's just a case of lining up schedules and getting it done. I'll see you tomorrow.